The USS Nimitz is one of the most iconic ships in the history of naval aviation. Launched in 1972 and commissioned in 1975, the USS Nimitz stands as the first of the Nimitz-class supercarriers, a series of 10 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers that have served as the backbone of U.S. naval power for decades. Over the course of nearly 50 years, the USS Nimitz has cemented its place as the longest-serving active aircraft carrier in the world, a testament to its enduring design and the strategic role it has played in modern naval warfare. As the most experienced aircraft carrier in the U.S. Navy, the Nimitz has participated in nearly every significant naval operation of the past 5 decades, from the Cold War and Operation Desert Storm to the global war on terror and present-day deterrence missions. The USS Nimitz has proven to be an essential asset to American military power. At the heart of the USS Nimitz's reputation is its longevity. It holds the title of the oldest active aircraft carrier in the United States Navy, with an extraordinary service history. It was named after Fleet Admiral Chester W. Nimitz, who was the commander of the Pacific Fleet during Second World War, leading U.S. forces to victory in the Pacific Theater. The ship's long service life is a remarkable achievement for an aircraft carrier, particularly one involved in such extensive and varied operations. To put it into perspective, when the Nimitz was commissioned in 1975, the Cold War was still ongoing. The Vietnam War had just ended, and many of the systems and technologies that are commonplace today were either in their infancy or yet to be developed. The fact that this ship remains one of the most capable carriers in the world speaks volumes about the foresight of its design and the continuous upgrades it has received over the years. One of the primary reasons for the Nimitz's long service life is the nuclear propulsion system, which enables the carrier to operate for over 20 years without refueling. This has allowed the Nimitz to deploy for extended periods, providing a sustained presence in key strategic areas around the globe. The USS Nimitz is truly a floating city, measuring approximately 1,092 feet in length with a displacement of over 100,000 tons. The carrier is one of the largest warships in the world. Its size enables it to carry a formidable air wing consisting of up to 90 aircraft, including FA-18 Hornets, Super Hornets, EA-8G Growlers, E-2C Hawkeyes, and MH-6R Seahawk helicopters. At the heart of the ship's capabilities is its nuclear-powered propulsion system, consisting of 2 A4W nuclear reactors, allowing it to cruise at speeds exceeding 30 knots, approximately 35 miles per hour. These reactors provide an immense amount of power, not only to propel the ship but to support all onboard systems, including the complex radar and electronic warfare suites, the catapults for launching aircraft, and the powerful systems that make the ship one of the most feared weapons platforms in the world. Additionally, the Nimitz is equipped with 3 catapults and an angled flight deck, which allows for continuous flight operations with aircraft taking off and landing simultaneously. It is also equipped with advanced radar navigation and communication systems, making it one of the most technologically advanced vessels in the U.S. fleet. Even after nearly 5 decades of service life aboard the USS Nimitz is unique, with a crew of nearly 5,000 sailors, including the air wing. The carrier functions like a small city. Sailors on board engage in a variety of jobs, from maintaining the ship's nuclear reactors to handling aircraft operations and everything in between. Daily life on the Nimitz can be intense with long hours and demanding tasks. However, the crew has access to numerous amenities, including gyms, chapels, and recreation areas, providing some respite from the rigors of life at sea. The ship's immense size allows for a variety of spaces, including aircraft hangars, workshops, medical facilities, and even a post office. There are also multiple dining areas known as GYS, which feed the crew 24 hours a day, ensuring that everyone aboard can perform their duties effectively. The original cost of the USS Nimitz at the time of its construction in the early 1970s was approximately $1 billion. Adjusted for inflation, that figure would be close to $6.5 billion in today's dollars. While the cost of building and maintaining such a vessel is immense, the return on investment is even greater. The ship has served as a critical asset for nearly 5 decades, contributing to countless operations and global missions. Beyond the initial construction cost, the upkeep of the USS Nimitz is also significant. The ship undergo regular maintenance and overhauls, including refueling and complex overhauls for its nuclear reactors, which are necessary every 20 to 25 years. These overhauls can take several years to complete and cost upwards of $3 billion. However, these investments ensure that the carrier remains combat-ready and technologically advanced. Small arms training aboard the USS Nimitz is a critical component of maintaining the ship's overall readiness and self-defense capabilities. Although the primary focus of a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier is to project air power through its air wing, it also must be capable of defending itself from a range of threats, including close-range surface attacks, small boats, and airborne assaults. This is where small arms proficiency becomes vital. The small arms gun shoot is an exercise designed to ensure that crew members are proficient in handling a variety of personal weapons, including the M9 pistol, M16 rifle, M240 machine gun, and M500 shotgun. These weapons are used in scenarios where high-speed threats like small boats or low-flying drones must be neutralized in the proximity of the carrier. These drills are conducted periodically and are crucial for sharpening the crew's marksmanship, situational awareness, and decision-making under pressure. They typically take place on the flight deck or other designated firing areas around the carrier, such as on the Fantail or sponson platforms that extend out from the hull. The drills may involve firing at stationary targets, floating objects, or even fast-moving drones that simulate real-world threats. This variety and training prepares the sailors for a range of scenarios that they could encounter in hostile environments. Each sailor assigned to small arms operations undergoes rigorous training in the use of these weapons, learning not just how to fire accurately but also how to operate safely and responsibly. Within the confines of a ship, the drills are often performed in challenging conditions, including rough seas or night operations where the environment adds complexity to the task. These exercises also serve a morale-boosting function, as they provide sailors with a direct and immediate way to contribute to the ship's defense. For many, participating in these live-fire exercises is a reminder of the real-world stakes of their service. Aboard one of the most powerful ships in the world, it reinforces the idea that while the Nimitz projects power globally, it must also be capable of defending itself and its crew. The ability of the USS Nimitz to replenish at sea is one of the most remarkable operational features that allow it to remain at sea for extended periods without needing to return to port. This capability is known as underway replenishment (UNREP), and it involves the transfer of fuel, food, water, ammunition, and other supplies from a support ship to the carrier, while both vessels are moving. A typical replenishment at sea begins with the arrival of a supply ship, often a fleet oiler or dry cargo ship, coming alongside the Nimitz. The two ships then maintain a steady course and speed, typically around 12 to 16 knots, while maintaining a distance of approximately 100 to 200 feet between them. This proximity allows for the safe transfer of materials without collision, but the operation requires precision and coordination from both crews. Once the ships are in position, fuel hoses and rigging lines are extended between the two vessels. These lines are used to send supplies over via a highline rig system, a complex set of cables, pulleys, and cranes that keep the process efficient and safe. The most common supplies transferred during these operations are fuel, both for the carrier's aircraft and for the ship itself, as well as food, spare parts, and medical supplies. These provisions are essential to maintaining the daily life and combat readiness of the crew and air wing aboard the Nimitz. During the refueling process, the carrier's jet fuel reserves are replenished. This is crucial as the aircraft aboard the Nimitz, particularly the FA-8 Hornets and Super Hornets, require large amounts of fuel to carry out their missions. The replenishment of jet fuel is a delicate task, as the carrier's tanks must be filled without any interruptions to flight operations or daily ship duties. The crew aboard the Nimitz is trained extensively to handle the complex logistics of UNREP, which often includes simultaneously managing flight operations in the replenishment process, the constant movement of aircraft along with the need to maintain the ship's position relative to the supply vessel adds layers of difficulty to these operations. In addition to fuel and supplies, personnel and mail can also be transferred during replenishment operations, providing the crew with much needed communication from home and sometimes new crew members to relieve or reinforce the existing staff. Replenishing it allows the USS Nimitz to project power globally without the limitations imposed by port visits. Whether operating in the Middle East, the Pacific, or the Arctic, the Nimitz can stay on station for months, ensuring a continuous U.S. naval presence in key areas of interest. This capability is one of the key factors that make the Nimitz a crucial strategic asset, allowing it to maintain its operational tempo and respond quickly to crises anywhere in the world. The ammunition onload is one of the most vital operations conducted aboard the USS Nimitz, ensuring that the ship is stocked with the necessary weapons and ordnance to conduct airstrikes, defend itself, and support other naval forces. These operations are a critical part of maintaining the carrier's combat readiness and are typically conducted either at sea or in port, depending on the operational requirements. A typical ammunition onload involves the transfer of thousands of pounds of ordnance, including missiles, bombs, and smaller munitions, from supply ships or storage depots onto the carrier. These operations require a high level of coordination, safety protocols, and the use of specialized equipment to handle the delicate and dangerous cargo. When an ammunition onload is conducted at sea, it is often done in conjunction with an underway replenishment. The ammunition is transferred from a supply ship, often an ammunition ship or dry cargo ship, to the Nimitz using high-capacity cranes and rigging. Special care is taken to ensure that the weapons are handled carefully, as even minor mistakes can lead to accidents with catastrophic consequences. The process begins with the two ships maintaining a steady speed and course similar to a fuel replenishment. Once in position, large cargo nets and cranes are used to transfer the ordnance onto the flight deck or into the hangar bay. From there, sailors and ordnance handlers carefully move the weapons to the ship's magazine, a heavily armored area below decks where the ordnance is stored until needed. The types of ordnance loaded onto the Nimitz vary depending on the mission at hand, but they typically include Joint Direct Attack munitions, laser-guided bombs, harpoon anti-ship missiles, and air-to-air missiles like the AM-9 Sidewinder and AM-120 IMRAM. Additionally, smaller ammunition for the carrier's close-in weapon system and defensive machine guns is also loaded during these operations. Ammunition unloads are often complex multi-day affairs that require coordination not just between the two ships but across the entire CRE of the Nimitz. Sailors from all departments play a role, from those on the flight deck operating the cranes and handling the ordnance to those in the ship's Combat Systems Division who ensure the weapons are properly stored and accounted for. Once the ammunition is safely stowed, the Nimitz is ready to carry out any mission that requires the use of its powerful arsenal, whether launching airstrikes in support of ground forces, engaging enemy ships, or providing air defense for a strike group. The weapons loaded during an ammunition onload are critical to the carrier's ability to fulfill its role as the centerpiece of the U.S. Navy's global power. Projection. In addition to the tactical importance, these operations are a clear display of the Nimitz's logistical capabilities. The ability to safely load and store a vast array of powerful weapons while at sea ensures that the Nimitz remains a formidable force capable of responding to threats anywhere in the world at any time. The careful planning, safety measures and teamwork required to carry out an ammunition onload demonstrate the professionalism and readiness of the Nimitz crew, ensuring that the carrier remains combat-ready for any potential operation. With its rich history, advanced capabilities, and nearly 5 decades of service, the USS Nimitz remains a symbol of American naval power and resilience. Whether conducting small arms training, replenishing at sea, or loading ammunition for combat operations, the USS Nimitz continues to demonstrate why it is one of the most formidable and reliable carriers in the U.S. Navy. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the life, operations and legacy of the USS Nimitz. Its story is far from over, and its contributions to global security will be remembered for generations to come. Music.